my name's Sophia, and for today's Booktober video, I'm going to be discussing all of these Stephen King books I've read so far. I am a very beginner Stephen King reader. I have read like 6 of his books. I have 5 of them here with me. Actually, yeah. I've read 6 of his books. I only own 5. I recently got into King mainly in 2018 is when I started showing more interest in his books. I have read some of the staples. There's still obviously a ton that I am missing, but I kind of want to take my time, even though I know I have plenty of material to last me for years. Yeah, let's just get into the books that I've read. So I'm actually going to start off with the one I don't have, which is the first ever Stephen King book I read, which was The Long Walk. It's actually published under his pseudonym Richard Bachman, but I obviously knew it was Stephen King. If you don't know, Richard Bachman is Stephen King. This one follows a society where I believe every year, if I'm remembering correctly, I read this like 3 or 4 years ago, 100 or so boys, maybe boys and girls, I can't remember correctly, we're following a boy. They go on this long walk and I forgot the main reason why. Anyways, this one was genuinely kind of creepy. It's more of a dystopian. It really messes with your head, I'm not gonna lie. You genuinely feel tired. First of all, I'm over here how do they keep walking? You can only take a break for 10 seconds or something like that, and you can only get 3 of them or something along those lines. It does not sound like an ideal situation. And yeah, that was the first Stephen King book I read. I honestly think it's a really good introduction to Stephen King. I personally found it to be a nice stepping ground. That does not make sense at all. I thought it was a good introduction to his writing and to his endings, because that ending I know left me, oh my god, I don't even know. I need to reread it because it really was really good. I think I gave it 4 stars, maybe 3.5 stars. But yeah, like I said, it was a good introduction and I'm glad I read it. Next Stephen King I read was because one of my friends said it was her favorite, and that was The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. And this is a shorter book. It's just I believe less than 200 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's 219 pages. This is about a girl who gets lost in the woods. She's out there alone and you're following her point of view. This was genuinely really creepy just because, like I said, she's in the woods alone. This was terrifying. And I think right when I read this, my mom and I had gone on a hike in a wooded area, and I was like, oh my god, I cannot lose my mother or else I'm gonna get stranded and I will not survive like this little 9-year-old girl did. Oh yeah, she's 9 in this. But yeah, this was really good. Again, I think it's a great introduction to Stephen King because it's not one of his bigger books. It's still a pretty short book. So yeah, there's that. Someone's pulling up in the parking lot in front of my window. I don't want people to see me. So next we have a short story collection that I actually read for school. So I read this for one of my creative writing classes and I wanted to write a little review about the short stories in it, and that is Night Shift by Stephen King. I think this, out of all the ones I've read so far by him, I enjoyed this the least just because, one, I'm not a huge short story anthology collection person. I don't know why. I think I'm not super keen on them. They're not the worst things in the world, but I'm definitely not inclined to pick them up first. I much prefer his novels, even if they're shorter. But I did enjoy this. I had some that I really liked. There were some that I didn't like at all, and I think it's a nice way, obviously, to feel out what you like. I read this next. It was okay. Wasn't my favorite. Wasn't the worst thing ever. But I do look forward to reading more of his short story collections because there are others that I think will appeal to me more than this one. Next, we got the 3 main books that I think of when anyone says Stephen King. We have basically a Stephen King trilogy. The Big Boy. The one that I read was technically the next one I finished was Pet Sematary, which is by Stephen King, as all these books are. I'm in the habit of saying the title and then the author, so I want to say Stephen King every time, which I think I have, but oh well. Anyways, I'm rambling. this book messed me up. So this was the book that I got into listening to the audiobooks as I read along, because Stephen King has some really good audiobook adaptations for his books, and I think that they're really nice, especially if you're reading along, and they're really atmospheric and get you in the mood. And that's me, who listens at 2-point speed, so I enjoy them. This book is just so interesting because of the way it deals with grief and the way like this family goes. Just, oh my god, it's so good. Also, the pet cemetery is super creepy and I love it. And it's just, oh, this is probably my favorite that I've read of his so far, which I know is like, for me, I'm trying to avoid. I want to make this clear, I have not given any of his books 5 stars yet, because I'm kind of scared to give out a 5-star and then like later think back and be like, no, I didn't like it that much. So I believe these next 3 are all pretty close, but I believe this one in my heart is probably my favorite book so far. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was super nice and I can see why everyone loves it so much. Will say the new movie adaptation sucks. Yeah, it was awful. I saw it with my best friend and it was awful. The next book that I finished, which is It by Stephen King. I started this in 2017 when I saw the movie for the It Chapter 1, which, by the way, those movies I love. I love It Chapter 1 better than Chapter 2, which is my take on it, but I still love both of them. The book took me until 2019 to read. It is, oh, first of all, it's, I think, the biggest book I've ever read and probably will ever read for a while. And it was a whirlwind of emotions, to say the least. I personally loved reading the sections where they are children. I'm not keen on them when they're adults, just because I found the storyline a lot more interesting when they're children. But I will say I did enjoy it. It isn't my favorite, but it's definitely high up there on the list. I do kind of want to give it a reread and this time read it not over the span of 2 years and actually just like read it in like a month or something like that, or at least over the span of a few months instead of literally 2 years. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, this one was good. It's not a super big favorite, but it wasn't the worst that I've read so far. So actually, to be honest, none of the ones I've read so far have been bad. Some of them I'm just like meh, like the short stories, but most of them have been great, or good. Most of them have been good. And then the most recent Stephen King book I read was The Shining, which I think is probably his most popular novel. I love the movie. I know there's controversy about the movie. I personally loved both of them. I liked the book a lot. I think it was really well done. I think you got a lot of intense emotions. You got the suspense of them doing the same thing over and over again, which, to be honest, I read this during like full lockdown. So that was a little bit like, haha, they're stuck in this cabin and I'm stuck in my house. I act as if I wouldn't like just stay at my house willingly all summer, which I probably would have anyways, but still, that's besides the point. It was good. I liked it a lot. I liked the movie a lot, and so I wanted to read the book. I did. It was great, and now I need to get my hands on Dr. Sleep, but that's for a different video. But yeah, this one I think is my second favorite. Pet Sematary. I did enjoy Pet Sematary a little bit more than I liked this one. Not too much of a difference though, but yeah, they're really like neck and neck. So there's that. So that was all my thoughts, I guess, like a little Stephen King wrap up, I guess you could say, on all the books that I've read by him so far. So like I said, I haven't read that many at all. Some people have read all of his books, some people have read 20 times more than me, some people have only read one of his books. Like it, yeah, I'm interested in reading more of his books. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps me out, and I will see you guys in the next Booktober video very soon. Bye guys.